The boarding announcement echoed through Gate 27 as passengers lined up for Flight 442 to Chicago. Marcus Williams adjusted his crisp navy blazer, the Silver Star medal pinned proudly on his chest catching the fluorescent lights. At 35, he carried himself with the quiet dignity of a man who had served his country with honor. 3 tours in Afghanistan had earned him that medal, along with scars both visible and hidden. He handed his boarding pass to Janet Miller, the head purser, whose smile vanished the moment she saw his first-class ticket. Her eyes narrowed as they moved from his face to the medal, then back again. "Excuse me," Janet said, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "I think there's been some mistake. This seat is reserved for first-class passengers only." Marcus blinked, confusion replacing his earlier calm. "Ma'am, this is my ticket. Seat 3A, first class." The line behind him grew restless. Passengers shifted uncomfortably, their conversations dying to whispers. A businessman in an expensive suit cleared his throat impatiently. A mother clutched her child closer, sensing the tension building like storm clouds. Marcus kept his voice steady, pointing to the Silver Star on his chest. "I served 3 tours in Afghanistan. This medal was awarded for valor in combat. I purchased this ticket with my own money." Janet's face flushed red with anger. "I don't care what fancy decoration you're wearing. You don't belong in first class. Move to the back where you belong, or I'll call security right now." Sarah Chan, a young flight attendant, watched from behind the counter. Her hands trembled as she witnessed the injustice unfolding. She wanted to speak up, to defend this decorated veteran, but Janet was her supervisor. Her job depended on staying silent, yet her conscience screamed at her to act. "There must be some misunderstanding," Sarah whispered to Janet, but received a wavering glare in return. The passengers in line began murmuring among themselves. Some pulled out their phones, recording the confrontation. An elderly white man shook his head in disgust. A young couple exchanged worried glances. The businessman checked his watch, more concerned about his schedule than the injustice before him. From the first-class boarding area, a distinguished man in his 60s rose from his seat. General Robert Thompson had been quietly reading a military journal, but the commotion drew his attention. His steel-gray hair was perfectly groomed, and his civilian clothes could not hide the unmistakable bearing of a career military officer. He approached the gate with measured steps, his presence commanding immediate respect. The crowd instinctively parted as he moved forward, sensing the authority that radiated from him like heat from a forge. "Excuse me," General Thompson said, his voice calm but carrying the weight of decades of command. "Is there a problem here?" Janet turned, irritation flashing across her face. "Sir, please return to your seat. This doesn't concern you." The general's eyes fixed on Marcus's Silver Star, then met the young veteran's gaze with unmistakable recognition and respect. "Actually, it does concern me. I'm General Robert Thompson, United States Army. I'd like to know why you're preventing this decorated soldier from boarding." Janet's mouth fell open. The color drained from her face as she processed his words. The other passengers fell silent, sensing the shift in power that had just occurred. General Thompson stepped closer, his voice dropping to a tone that could freeze steel. "This man earned that Silver Star saving lives under enemy fire. He has every right to sit wherever his ticket allows." He turned to Sarah, who was watching with wide eyes. "Please escort Sergeant Williams to his seat immediately." Sarah nodded quickly, relief flooding her face. "Yes, sir, right away." General Thompson wasn't finished. He pulled out his phone and dialed a number. "Captain Martinez. This is General Thompson. I need the airline's regional manager contacted immediately. We have a discrimination incident that requires immediate attention." Janet stammered, "General, I was just following protocol." "Your protocol violates federal law," he replied coldly. "Discrimination based on race has no place in this country," especially against those who served it. Within minutes, an airline supervisor arrived, apologizing profusely to Marcus. Janet was escorted away from the gate, her face burning with shame. The passengers watched as justice unfolded before their eyes, many nodding in approval. Marcus finally walked down the jetway to his rightful seat in first class, his head held high. Once airborne, General Thompson moved to the empty seat beside Marcus. "I apologize for what happened back there, Sergeant. No hero should face that treatment." Marcus smiled, gratitude filling his eyes. "Thank you, sir. Your intervention meant everything. We've come far as a nation, but clearly not far enough," the general reflected, gazing out the window at the clouds below. "Every time someone stands up to injustice, we move closer to the America we promised to defend." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "My grandfather couldn't sit in first class. My father faced similar challenges. Today, you helped ensure my son might not have to." The general clasped Marcus's shoulder. "That's the progress worth fighting for." As the plane descended toward Chicago, Marcus felt something shift inside him. Yes, racism still existed, but so did people willing to fight it. Justice had prevailed today, carried by the wings of hope and the courage of those who refused to stay silent.